Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We are so glad to be here with you today and to meet you, even if it has to be virtually. My name's Gay, and I'm here with the Healthy Communities team, Gabriella and Naomi, and all of our mentors who you will meet shortly. We're so excited to welcome you. We are part of the Canadian Urban Institute, and along with our colleagues from Community Foundations of Canada, CFC, we're part of the Healthy Communities Initiative. Each one of you is one of the projects that are taking place across the country. Community Foundations of Canada is the lead administrator for this program. So I just wanted to start out by reminding you that if you have questions about receiving funds, submitting interim reports or final reports, M30 agreements in Quebec, or extensions for projects, the program officers from Community Foundations of Canada will be happy to help you. At CUI, Canadian Urban Institute, along with our 9 partner organizations, we have a supportive role. Our role is to provide you with support for your projects, from mobilizer sessions to small group discussions to this mentorship program. And also we nurture a placemaking community of practice. And I'll ask Naomi to pop that into the chat for you now. Before we start, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Naomi, who will give us some technical guide.
Thank you so much, David. Hello, everyone. You might have seen me at the top of the session. My name is Naomi. I'm just going to give you sort of some points to keep in mind as we go through the session today. So today's session is also offered in French. So if you would like to follow along in French, please click on the globe that appears at the bottom of your screen and select the French channel. If you prefer to follow the session in English, please make sure that you select the English channel as well. Please make sure that you select, we will let you know when you should select the English channel, as you will also be hearing from our French-speaking mentors. Closed captions are also available by selecting the closed caption button at the bottom of your screen. Thank you. Now, before we start, we also wanted to let everyone know that the first half of this session is being recorded. After the mentors have completed their presentation, we will end the recording for the remainder of the session to facilitate an open discussion space. If you don't feel comfortable being recorded, please feel free to keep your camera off for the start of the session. We will let you know when the recording has stopped, and we encourage you to keep your cameras on from that point forward, just for the sort of collaborative atmosphere. Now, the session is going to begin with a presentation and then move into a more casual discussion space. We ask that during the presentation portion of the section, you remain on mute unless invited otherwise. If you have a pressing question or some info to share, we recommend sharing it in the chat, or you can wait until the Q&A portion at the end of the session, which will be an open floor opportunity for people to raise their hands and then ask their questions directly. Or again, you're always welcome to ask questions in the chat at any time. So, as I mentioned before, I'm going to pass it back to Gay, and please continue to keep introducing yourself in the chat. We love getting to know a bit about you, so, we will look at that. Gay, back to you.
Thank you, Naomi. We want to open this space by recognizing the ongoing impacts of colonization and the fact that reconciliation is an ongoing commitment in all of us. We're grateful to have the opportunity to live, congregate, learn, and work in the community on this territory. And as community builders, we commit to taking care of the land and the beings with whom we share it. I work and live on the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Coast Salish peoples, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam nations, whose relationship with the land continues to this day. Vancouver is on the Pacific coast. CUI's work happens across Turtle Island, which has traditionally been and is home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Today, we're delighted to host this session together with the network of Healthy Communities mentors. If you want to just jump in for a moment and show your faces and say hi, we'd love for you to just take a moment, everyone.
Everybody.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you. You will easily be able to recognize most of us will have this similar background to our background as we speak. In today's session, we're excited to explain to you all a bit about the Healthy Communities Initiative Mentorship Program, to answer your questions, and most importantly, to introduce you to our mentors, the soul of this program, and the people that you will get a chance to work with. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to turn it over to Gabriella and Naomi. They'll give you an overview of the program, and then we'll pass it over to the mentors to introduce themselves. And finally, we'll open the floor to you to share any questions you have. Over to you, Gabriella and Naomi.
Thank you so much, Gay and Naomi. And it's so wonderful to be with all of you and to see your faces, see your introductions. It's absolutely great. So I'm just going to share a little bit to open about the purpose of this program. And then Naomi has a couple of questions prepared that will take us to the practicalities so that you get a full sense of how does this program work. So for you to get an idea, the purpose of this mentorship program is to connect you with an experienced practitioner who has worked on some of the areas where you may be working. Basically, this is an opportunity for you to explore challenges, to explore ideas, to explore things that you may want to consider in the future with someone who is from outside the organization, someone who is not there to evaluate your work. It's someone who's there to be a peer, someone to give you feedback, a different point of view, and maybe brainstorm some ideas with you. We very much consider that this is an opportunity really for you to build relationships, and we understand this very much as a relationship build opportunity between peers working in a placemaking space. So to keep it very simple, I would say this is kind of like an opportunity for you to get a low pressure, to be in a low pressure environment where you can test, validate, question, brainstorm some of the ideas and things that may be on top of your mind with other colleagues from across the country. Having said that, Naomi, I know you have a couple of questions, so I follow you. Uy, I think you're muted.
Sure am. Thank you for that overview, Gabriella. And yeah, now we're going to get a little more detailed by going through some of the most common FAQs. I guess the name gives it away. So Gabriella, who is eligible for the mentorship program?
So any of the projects that apply to the Healthy Communities Initiative program that tick the box of receiving technical support in the original application is eligible for this mentorship program. Given that all of you have been invited to this session, we want to let you know that you're all that you all did tick that box, and so you are all invited to be part of this mentorship program.
Amazing. So now that we're all here, if I selected mentorship on my application, am I required to participate?
Not at all. The mentorship program is 100% an optional thing, and it's 100% something that needs to be valuable for you. So you can pull out of the program at any point, and it's completely optional. Something to point out too is that if you perceive that this is an interesting program that can be valuable for you or someone else in your team, or maybe actually for someone in your team, but maybe not you, what you can do is you can pass the opportunity along to someone in your team to engage with the program. That's an option. But to be clear with the question, yes, it's completely optional.
Amazing. And so for the people who do choose to sign up, what is the time commitment expected?
So the program has been designed, and mentors will be able to share a bit more later on, to be very flexible. There is very different types of organizations with very different needs. So we've designed it so that it's very apt to everyone's needs. For you to get a sense, what we are envisioning is that over the period of 4 months, you would have 2 to 3 1-hour exchanges with your mentor. But this also has to do with what's your preferred form of communication. Sometimes this means having Zoom calls. For other people, this means having email exchanges. So we leave it very much open, but for you to get a sense, 2 to 3 hours in a 4-month time period.
Amazing. And what's the cost?
So there's no additional cost. This is part of the Healthy Communities Initiative, and there's no additional cost associated with joining this program.
Now, having mentioned the initiative, is the mentorship program at all related to the evaluation of the funding?
No, and this is actually a question that we often receive and that we want to be very clear about. So as we mentioned, the aim of this program is really to have an experienced practitioner who can support you, but there's no relationship between the evaluation of the Healthy Communities Initiative and the mentorship program. The mentorship program is fully related to basically the deployment of your initiative and things that you may be finding while you are doing the work on the ground. But no, it's not connected. And actually something that we want to highlight too, because it's something that has come out in previous cohorts, is that there are a couple of things that may be off limits with this mentorship program. For example, asking for legal advice to your mentor, or asking for financial advice, or asking for updates regarding the payments of the Healthy Communities Initiative. These are things that are off program, and it's important that you take them into account when you're having your conversations with your mentors.
Okay, cool. And then thank you. And as a final question, how is the match made between mentors and mentees?
So basically, we are going to ask you to respond to a mentorship survey. It's a survey that we promise you it will take you 5 to 7 minutes to respond, but will actually allow us to have a better understanding of where are you at with your projects and what are the things that you actually would like to address, discuss, talk, or touch on with your mentor. And then we are going to use the input of that survey to actually inform the matchmaking process. And then, as you will see, part of the process itself is getting to know the mentor and then identifying if there's a good match or if maybe there's someone else in the group who can provide you better support. So we kind of like build it as part of the process, but you will provide us the key information.
And so having learned all about the program and after today's session, where we're going to hear still from the mentors, what are the next steps for getting involved in the program?
I like the 1, 2, 3. So basically, after today's session, we are going to share with you this survey, the mentorship survey, that you or whomever in your team is going to participate in the program will respond to. And then towards the end of this month or in the next couple of weeks, you can expect that our team is going to introduce you to one of the mentors. That would be the second step, getting to know the mentor. And then you are going to organize a first 30-minute call with the mentors, which will be the opportunity for you to get to know each other. And then based on that conversation, it will be up to you and the mentor to decide how the relationship continues.
Amazing. So that sort of covers the basics. And now that we've heard so much about the mentors, we are going to take the time to get to meet them all. So each one of them is going to have 2 minutes to briefly sort of give a presentation about themselves and share with us a question that they have from their experience. So on that note, I'm going to call on Megan and Eva from ICLEI to join us.
Hey there. Oh, I love that picture. I didn't know that was taken. Hi, everyone. My name's Megan Meany. I'm the Executive Director of ICLEI Canada. ICLEI is an international association of local governments that are committed to sustainability. And I am the ED of the Canada operations. I'm in Toronto, which we know is the traditional territory of many diverse nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people. We also have offices in Montreal and in Victoria. So we work with a really wide variety of stakeholders across government, industry, and academia, and the NGO community to build more sustainable, low carbon, energy efficient, and climate ready communities. I've been mentoring with my colleague, Eva Jackson, who's the Managing Director of ICLEI Canada, and she'll pop on in just a second. And we've been reflecting now on some of the mentorship work that we've done through this program. I'll touch on a couple points and Eva will touch on a couple points. First, we focused a lot in the beginning stages on project development and design. Between the two of us, we've been in this NGO community for almost 50 years. So we've done a lot of project development and design work, and we've really focused a lot on connecting those early stages of project work to the monitoring and verification kind of work that's so important in projects like this, right? So we focused a lot on that. We were also paired with many of the local government fundees recipients, right? Because obviously we know local governments really well. We understand the governance processes and the decision making. We're quite connected with what's going on in other local governments. So we've been able to even make some additional kind of peer-to-peer connections on behalf of some of the funded projects here. So that was always really nice for us to sort of really connect in that way. And I'm going to hand it off to Eva to take the next minute.
Yeah, and what we discovered through that connection to local governments is that we also were quite effective in helping community-based organizations connect better to their local governments. So even if you aren't a local government working as a recipient, but want to connect in with the efforts of your local municipality, that is another area that we're quite keen to get to help people do better and facilitate that process. And then that leads us to our question, which is, we really want to think about the longevity of your amazing projects, which how can we ensure that they continue after this funding is spent and all the good projects are implemented? How can we give them life? And one of our strategies to do that, and we hope to explore that more, is to make that connection with the placemaking efforts, with the neighborhood connections efforts, with the social cohesion efforts of the municipalities, whether they're small rural locations across the country or large urban centers. How can we connect those efforts to give the projects long life? So I think we are probably very close to our 2 minutes. Oh boy, does it go by fast, but happy to answer questions in the Q&A.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be with you. My name is Jonathan Gilbray. I'm the Senior Director of Evaluation and Learning and Quality Improvement. I work for an organization called NAPSI, Network for the Advancement of Black Communities. And we are a systems change organization that sits in the interface between philanthropy, government and nonprofit organizations. And we sort of connect the dots. But at the core of our work is actually to build the capacity of the Black sector and connect all the ecosystem for us to be able to advance systems change. What the area of work that I have that I'm doing is actually building the capacity of nonprofit organizations around evaluation and think about evaluation differently. And previously, I've done this work both in terms of as a consultant, but also working in different organizations and teaching at the community college, where the drive has been that evaluation has to actually make sense to the people that are actually doing the work. So in the mentorship relationship that I had with a number of projects, the conversation has been around that evaluation doesn't become simply a means to accountability with no meaningful opportunity to learn and to shift, but also to gently push government and other funders to think together with the community to be able to solve or address some of the intractable issues that we have in our society. So I think that's what I bring, and I think there's an element of a bit of sustainability, as both my colleagues have spoken about, and I come at it from evaluation perspective and possibilities of how to sustain, but also to connect the energy with other work that's happening in the community. So I'm happy to be with you. Thank you very much. Looking forward to working with you.
Hi, I'm Jericho. I'm sorry. I help purpose-driven organizations with highly complex challenges and problems using systemic design, systemic innovation, and social innovation approaches. So right now, I'm involved in a handful of projects, all of which it's got to do with making things a lot more equitable and inclusive. For example, I'm working with an organization called New Power Labs, and we're trying in that initiative, we're trying to take a systemic approach to getting foundations and impact investors to rethink the way they flow capital, they flow investments and money and grants so that more diverse recipients can come into the picture, more diverse founders can receive the capital. So the sort of work that I tend to do a lot of, to look at these big, messy problems and then figure out how to bring together the right people, surface the right kind of insights, create a new set of shared understanding, and set the right kind of vision that can really motivate and compel people so that we can build a coalition, build a movement to make this sort of change possible. So I'm really looking forward to see how I can help. Should also add that I do have a bit of background in digital technical kind of work. I am more largely a systems collaboration, systemic sort of guy. Yeah. So let me know if you've got something really messy and wicked. That's the sort of stuff that I enjoy working on.
Hey everybody, my name is Nash Salomon. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm joining from the unceded, traditional, and shared territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations in so-called Vancouver. I work with Park People. We're a national nonprofit organization focused on parks, and our vision is to see city parks play an essential role in the transition to equitable cities where people and the rest of nature really thrive. So yeah, we work with community, NGOs, municipal staff, and a variety of other stakeholders that work in parks, and we really see parks as essential city infrastructure. My role with Park People is a Vancouver network manager. So I'm the senior project manager, and I do a mix of on-the-ground delivery and behind-the-scenes planning. A lot of my work is really about building partnerships. I'm also a co-chair on the Gordon Neighborhood House Community Advisory Board and vice chair of the Vancouver Public Space Network. My educational background is in environmental restoration, but early in my career, I really felt quite isolated in my work, not seeing myself represented at all in the field. And while I didn't have the words for it at the time, I was really lucky to stumble upon Park People and have really fallen in love with the community side of green spaces and finding better ways to make the space more inclusive and representative of the diversity of folks around us. So yeah, I also used to review grant applications and still really enjoy doing that. I'm fairly new to the mentorship program, so I'm really looking forward to learning more about your projects and seeing how they grow over the coming months. One thing that I've loved in my last 5 years working with community groups is just hearing all the amazing stories and seeing those stories really as data for funders. And so my question is, how can we best help tell your story and share your story with groups beyond just us? And yeah, how can we highlight those and help inspire others as well? So, thank you.
I'll pipe in. I'm a colleague of Mash's. My name is Rachel Yanshishin. I also work with Park People. Hello, bonjour to tout le monde qui nous joigne aujourd'hui. I'm in Toronto, the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat, and Toronto is covered by Treaty 13. So Nash talked a little bit about Park People and our vision to see city parks as an essential role in the transition to a healthy future where equitable cities where people and the rest of nature thrive. I've been with the organization for about 5 years. I'm currently a program manager working on our national and Montreal programs. I contribute to program design. I supervise staff teams nationally and in Montreal, and I work with funders and foster cross-team collaboration. I'm also a mom of 2 children, aged 10 and 13, and I love spending time outside with my friends, connecting to the land. And I also have a keen interest in urban agriculture and growing food. My past work experience has also included volunteer coordination, retail management, environmental campaigns, and education. I love meeting new people and connecting, and I've really enjoyed participating in this mentorship program. I wanted to also say congratulations to everybody here in this room on receiving the HCI funding and on all our hard work. We really see you, and I want to congratulate everybody. So I've loved participating in this group, building relationships with folks in the Western Bay Lighthouse in Newfoundland, to Reforest London, to remote communities in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and just the openness that folks bring to the conversations, talking about common struggles and common goals and victories. And we've hosted some really cool small group sessions where there's a lot of sharing between folks working on the same topic. So yeah, my question for the group and for the initiatives is, how, as mentors, can we best support you, the people who are really doing the on the ground work, this like important work that's by the community, for the community, and with the community. What's the best way for us to support you? So thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gia Benny. I am a project manager at ATT Cities. ATT Cities is a nonprofit organization based in Toronto. And we believe that if you make a city that is great for an 8-year-old and an 80-year-old, then it'll be great for everyone. And my areas of interest are transforming public spaces and mobility and community engagement. Although I have an academic background in architecture and urban design, and I do all these things as part of my work at ATT Cities. I also sit on the steering committee of Jane's work, if you're all familiar with that, and I'm happy to provide help on any of those topics. I am a new mentor, so I'm looking forward to making these connections and supporting you all. I was part of a few small group discussions, and it was amazing to have that community support each other, and I'm looking forward to being part of that community and facilitating those discussions again. Yeah, like Rachel was also saying, my question to you all is also, how can we support you best, and how can we support you in a way that is so that you can work towards the goal of your project, and the goal of your project should always be central to what you are doing. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lanrick Bennett Jr. I am the Executive Director for the Laneway Project. We're based here in Toronto. We're a non-for-profit organization looking at how we can better utilize laneways, usually used for garbage or illicit, dark things. We enjoy being able to bring life and opportunity to spaces here in Toronto that are being underutilized in how our city grows and how we use space. My background, I've got a lot before getting into this position, from going to school for radio and television broadcasting to being a producer at the Second City. I really enjoy trying to live my life with a yes and type approach. We all say no. Yes, but is basically no, but trying to yes and each other helps to allow for the story to continue. And I'm always about finding ways of going forward and moving forward in life and in the projects that that you'll be bringing forward. I think really my big question for all of you to maybe think about is access and equity, and how do we make sure that stakeholders that we don't see are brought into the discussion of the projects that you're going to be bringing forth. Any way, shape, and form that we can allow for more people to be involved in what it is that you'll be creating. I'd love to help navigate that piece. Little tiny extra bit about myself. Love to travel by bike. I sit right now as the bicycle mayor for Toronto and was lucky enough to visit all 100 libraries across Toronto with my then 5-year-old who hates talking about it now, but the pictures were cute.
Amazing. So thank you to all of the mentors who were here today and able to give these presentations. And thank you everyone for listening. Now, we have 2 more presentations from 2 mentors who weren't able to be here today. So I will play the first one, which is in English, and the second one will be in French. So if you are interested in hearing that translated, we recommend for that you go down to the globe at the bottom of your screen and go to the English language channel. So thank you, and just bear with me while I get everything ready to go.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanya Chang. I use both she and they pronouns, and I'm based in Chibuktuk, which is colonially known as Halifax on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq. And I'm thrilled to be a mentor for the Healthy Communities Initiative. A little bit about me, I currently work as an independent consultant, and I help social impact organizations to find strategic clarity, design services and processes, and facilitate change. I do this work through the lenses of innovation and design thinking, systems thinking, as well as liberatory practice. And these days, I'm actively exploring how to decolonize the way we work and truly embed equity and inclusion into organizational practices. My work is informed by over 15 years of experience in the nonprofit and philanthropic sectors, and I have had a variety of roles leading operations programs and fundraisings in different organizations, working towards youth engagement, climate action, entrepreneurship, and gender equity. And as a consultant, I now support a whole bunch of organizations that are tackling a wide range of issues, from grassroots civic engagement and mental health to Indigenous women's advocacy to equitable grant making. It's a lot of fun. And in addition to experience in community-based work, I also bring a bit of a sector level perspective. I have a master's in philanthropy and nonprofit leadership, and I currently sit on the board of Imagine Canada, as well as some granting committees. I've been told that I'm good at making order out of chaos and prompting reflection and shifting perspectives. So if those are things that you could benefit from, I look forward to working with you as a thought partner as you implement your projects. Thanks.
Allô, moi c'est Catherine Craig-Saint-Louis, je suis coordonnatrice de projet chez Vivre en Ville. Je travaille chez Vivre en Ville depuis 7 ans, ça fait 5 ans que je suis au bureau de Gatineau. Je suis urbaniste et puis j'ai eu la chance de travailler avec le programme de mentorat pour l'Initiative canadienne pour les collectivités en santé depuis déjà plusieurs mois. Un moment fort de ces instants de mentorat-là, ce serait sûrement, en fait c'est comme plusieurs moments, mais c'est à chaque fois qu'on est capable de connecter la discussion, un élément avec soit un guide ou un autre groupe qui fait quelque chose de similaire puis que je peux servir de courroie de transmission. C'est vraiment mes moments favoris. Ça varie là, de fois en fois, puis on trouve toujours à s'adapter. C'est vraiment un moment où on apprend à se connaître, on jase ensemble, puis on voit ce sur quoi on est capable de discuter davantage, là, puis de faire des liens. Puis dans le fond, ça me permet aussi de préciser peut-être là, une question ou un élément sur lequel j'ai envie de continuer de travailler avec le programme de mentorat. C'est vraiment de continuer à voir comment on peut bâtir à partir des choses qui existent. On fait déjà tellement de belles initiatives puis de beaux projets. Fait comment, des fois, est-ce qu'on peut utiliser certaines synergies ou profiter de certaines synergies là, pour s'assurer qu'on travaille bien ensemble puis qu'on met les efforts aux mêmes endroits là, quand on est capable. Donc, au plaisir!
That was all from our mentors. So again, thank you to all the mentors for sharing with us, and thank you everyone for being here. Now, for sort of the last part of our session today, we are going to move into a bit of an audience Q&A. So I'm going to pass things off to Gabriella. Also to note at this point, we are going to stop the recording. So if you weren't on camera before and are more comfortable to now, please do. Gabriella, over to you.